This is the test review for 3.1. This is looking at equations of graphs. So as you can see, like on here, we have a picture and we're going to work out what would be its equation. So we're really focused on things like slope intercept again. So for this one, I can see it has an intercept of 0. I can see the slope here goes up 1 and across 1. So this would be y equals 1x plus 0, or even better, y equals x. And then here's that reminder. So we're trying to find out what our two key things are. If we can find out the slope and we can find out the intercept, then we can clearly write out what the equation is. So if we're given an equation, if we're given some details like the slope is -3/4, then I know my equation is -3/4 x, because I would put the slope here in front of the x. If we're given a point like this, if the x value is ever 0, then we know this is the y-intercept straight away. So I know -5 is my y-intercept, and I could fill that in straight away as -5. So although we put plus something, if it turns out to be negative, then we'll change that into a subtract, as you can see here. So some questions are easier than others. So a slope of 2, that would be 2x. And a y-intercept of 6, that would of course be +6. Slope of -3/5, so -3/5 x. Now, if it goes through the origin, I know that means it goes through 0. So I could put +0, but I don't really want to. It will still allow you to do it. But even better is y equals 3/5 x. So when there's no number on the end, we know that it goes through 0 on the y-axis. So when we're given a line, that's kind of the things we got to look for. We got to look for the slope and we got to look for the intercept. So the intercept here I can see is 1, 2, 3. Slope is certainly negative. If it goes through a nice number on the x-axis and the y-axis, we can certainly just use these as well. So I can see that it goes down 3 squares. And I can see that it goes across 6 squares. And if I simplify -3/6 on using my Desmos calculator, I would find out that it's -1/2. I'm not sure if it'll accept -3/6 or not. Yes, it will. It'll still accept it. But we always want to simplify our fractions. Just so you can see as well from this picture, you can also see that you can go down 1. And if you go across 2, you get back to the line as well. That's also why it's -1/2. So what's the equation of the line? Take the slope, put the x next to it, and whoops, not +6, +3. And actually, you could see there as I was typing this in, notice the color of the line, and then notice the new color of the line. So this goes right over the top, so I know this is the correct answer. Although I have my 3 check marks here as well to prove it. So for this one here, it looks like it goes through -4. The slope, 1, 2, 3. This one goes up 3 and right 1. So 3/1 is 3. And then once I have that, the slope goes with the x, and then the other number goes by itself. And you can see that one's correct as well. Which graph most likely represents the line shown on the graph? Well, first of all, I'm going to look at the y-intercept, -3. So it's certainly not that answer here. And I can see this one has a negative slope as well. This is clearly going upwards. So I know this is between A and B, right? A and D. So let's have a little look here. It goes up 1, 2 squares, and then across 1, 2, 3. So I'm kind of looking at that point and that point to confirm that it's 2/3. So I know that it's this answer here. If you weren't sure if it is 3/2, you could count that out as well. Go up 1, 2, 3, go across 2, and notice this is not on the line. Therefore, this is not a slope of 3/2. So you can use that as well. So therefore, once in slope intercept, we also have the ones with just a single variable like we saw in Unit 2, our horizontal and vertical lines. And we really want to think about Hoy and Vux for those questions. Horizontal starts with an H, so does Hoy, and therefore we would look at y equals a number. If we see a vertical line, I'm thinking of Vux because of the V for vertical, and I would be using the x as x equals a number. So which model is this one the best? So this is a vertical line, so I'm definitely thinking Vux for this question. So it's x equals, and then just look, which number does it go through on the x-axis? You can see that it goes through 6. Therefore, the equation must also be x equals 6. This time I can see this is a horizontal line. So H for horizontal, and I'm thinking of my other word this time, which is Hoy. So I know this one must start with y equals, and then just same thing, look where it goes through on the y-axis, -2. Y equals -2, and we're done. Now, having gone through the notes, this is the time where really you got a chance to have a little practice yourself. So you might want to pause the video, work through the questions on Student Desmos, and then you can always come back and try these. So an equation with a slope of 3 and a y-intercept of 2. So I'm looking for 3x, and then I'm looking for plus 2. So actually, it's just this one here. I'm not explaining my thinking. We just kind of did it verbally right there. What is the equation of a line with slope -1 and passing through the origin? So I'm looking for -1x, or that would just be -x. And origin is 0, so I mean that means nothing at the end. So looks like it's just that first one. And the reason I just gave you there as well. What line is graphed here? So I can see that it goes through -1. So that's certainly narrowed down a lot of my choices. I can see this is positive slope as well. So I'm really narrowing down my choices. I already know it's between the third and the fifth answer already. The third answer says 1/2. So let me just check that. Is it up 1 and across 2? Yes, it is. It gets back to the line there. So we know straight away that it is 1/2 x minus 1. And I'm going to select this one. If we thought it was 2, remember 2 is 2 over 1. So that would be up 2, right 1. And you can see that's not on the line at this point here. So it wouldn't be that answer. What line is graphed here? Well, this one goes through +3. And unfortunately, all my answers do for this one. I can see it's negative slope though. So I do know it's between, I know it's between C and D. -1/5 means I go down 1 and across 5. So clearly it's not that one. -5 means I go down 5 and then across 1. So clearly for this one, it would be answer choice D. For the next question, I can see that it goes through 0, so I don't need anything as my intercept right here. I can see I got positive and negative slopes, so positive slope here. So I know it's between answer A and B again, and then I'm just going to check if it's 4/5 or 5/4. So if I go up 4 and over 5, I can see I get back to the line. Whereas if I go up 5 and across 4, you can see that I do not get to the line. I got my horizontal line here, so I know I'm thinking about Hoi. So this is going to be y equals, and then just look to see which number it goes through for. Y equals 4. They're always nice and quick to do once you know what you're looking for. A vertical line, so I'm thinking Vux for this one. So I know it's x equals, and I can see it's -5, and we're done with that one too. And that concludes it. So they're either going to be in slope intercept form, or they're going to be horizontal and vertical lines, and we just have to use that slightly different method for that. Make sure you're familiar with all those methods, and then you'll be ready to test on 3.1.